They say the moment you realize you're no longer in control is the moment fear takes hold. That night, after discovering Jonathan's $250,000 debt tucked inside what was supposed to be a gift, I understood what that truly meant. I wasn't just being handed responsibility. I was being tested, manipulated, and watched, and I didn't even know it yet. After the dinner, I excused myself from the table under the pretense of checking on something in the kitchen. The envelope burned in my pocket. Every step I took echoed in my mind. $250,000. My brother's mistakes. My responsibility. I replayed Dad's words over and over. Family sticks together. You handle his mistakes, or you leave him to suffer. I paused in the hallway, the dim lighting casting long shadows. That's when I noticed it. A piece of paper sticking slightly out from under the sofa. My heart skipped a beat. Carefully, I pulled it out. It was another note. You're stronger than they think, but if you react wrong, you'll lose everything. Be careful who you trust tonight. The handwriting was unfamiliar, precise, almost ominous. My stomach churned. Who was watching me? Was this a friend, a family member, or someone else entirely? I returned to the living room, trying to appear calm, but my mind raced. Dad was pouring wine into Jonathan's glass, smiling as if nothing had happened. Mom was busy clearing the plates, her hands trembling ever so slightly. And Jonathan, smug, unbothered, utterly unprepared for the storm brewing inside me. I could feel it. The room wasn't just a dining space. It was a battlefield. Every smile a mask, every laugh a weapon. So Lily, Dad said casually, how do you feel about your gift? I swallowed hard. It's a lot, I said, keeping my voice steady. I couldn't let my anger or fear show. Dad thrived on that. He loved seeing me squirm under his control. Good, he said, leaning back. That's exactly how you should feel. Life isn't fair, but it's family, and we all pull together. I forced a smile, but inside, a storm was brewing. Pull together, he meant carry Jonathan's mistakes as if they were mine. Later, after the dishes were cleared, and the main course was gone, Dad suggested we move to the living room for coffee and dessert. Jonathan stayed nearby, still grinning as though this entire scenario was some kind of game. I took a seat on the couch, trying to act normal, but my eyes never left the envelope in my lap. Every now and then, I peeked inside. The numbers stared back at me, unblinking, relentless. $250,000. It wasn't just a debt, it was a statement, a weapon, and a trap, all at once. And then I noticed something odd. A folder on the bookshelf across the room. It was slightly out of place, not aligned with the rest of Dad's meticulously arranged books. I felt a tug of curiosity. Slowly, carefully, I got up and walked over. My hand brushed against the folder. Inside, I found papers, receipts, and documents. Something Dad hadn't intended me to see. My breath caught as I scanned through them. Expenses, loans, interest rates, and then a series of emails between Jonathan and a loan company. My brother had taken massive risks. He had gambled with money, investments, even our family's name, without telling anyone. But one line stood out, written in Jonathan's handwriting. If Lily finds out, she must be made to pay. It's her responsibility now. I froze. What? My stomach twisted. Dad's plan wasn't just to burden me with Jonathan's debt. Someone had anticipated my reaction, had plotted it so I would be trapped, financially and emotionally. I heard a quiet shuffle behind me and spun around. Dad was standing there, expression unreadable. Curiosity can be dangerous, he said quietly. Some things are better left alone. Why? I asked, my voice trembling. Why make me responsible for this? Why set me up? Dad's gaze was steady, almost cold. Because this family survives on accountability. And tonight, you're learning what that really means. My hands shook. Every instinct screamed at me. Run, leave, fight. But I stayed. knowing that leaving would only play into their hands. And then, Jonathan leaned toward me with a grin, whispering, "Not so fun, is it? You always thought life was fair. Welcome to reality." I clenched my fists. Reality? No. This was cruelty disguised as a lesson. I spent the next hour silently analyzing everything, trying to piece together how my family had engineered this. Each laugh, each gesture, each comment now seemed like a calculated move. Dad's instructions, Jonathan's casual smirk, Mom's worried glances, and the mysterious note. It became clear, this wasn't just about money. It was a test, a psychological trap designed to measure my loyalty, my patience, my endurance. And I was supposed to fail, but I wasn't going to. I made a plan. Quietly, without anyone noticing, I began documenting everything. Emails, receipts, notes, even the small cues from Dad and Jonathan that revealed their strategy. I wasn't going to let them manipulate me without a record. And just when I thought I had a grasp on the situation, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Tonight, everything changes. Watch closely. They aren't who you think they are." My heart raced. Someone else was involved. Someone knew about the debt and the family setup. And if I paid attention, I might discover the real mastermind behind this cruel game. I returned to the living room, trying to act casual. Dessert was served. Chocolate cake, whipped cream, coffee. Jonathan laughed at something Dad said, oblivious to the storm inside me. Mom kept glancing at me, worried. And Dad. He leaned back in his chair, watching me like a hawk. Suddenly the lights flickered. Just for a moment, but enough to make everyone pause. And then, a soft thud from the hallway. We all looked toward the noise. No one moved. Then a shadow appeared. Someone standing at the end of the hallway, partially hidden. I recognized the stance. The figure was tall, deliberate, and then they stepped forward. It was a woman I hadn't seen in years. Someone who had left our family under mysterious circumstances. Someone who had always warned me, quietly, about my parents' methods, about Jonathan's recklessness. "Lily," she said softly, her voice trembling with urgency. "You need to see this before it's too late." My pulse spiked. She handed me a folder, heavier than it looked. Inside were bank statements, hidden loans, and correspondence showing that the $250,000 wasn't just Jonathan's debt. It was a part of a larger scheme. Dad had manipulated creditors. Jonathan had been the visible target, but the debt was a setup to test me. And worse, someone had planned for me to fail. I looked up at her. What does this mean?" She leaned closer. "It means, Lily, that tonight, everything you think you know about your family is a lie. And the real shock isn't Jonathan's debt. It's what happens if you try to expose it." The room felt like it was closing in. I glanced at Dad, at Jonathan, at Mom. Their smiles, their casual gestures. Everything now seemed like a carefully crafted mask. And that's when the twist hit me. The one that left my blood running cold. The debt wasn't just money. It was a trap. And someone in this house was ready to use it to destroy me. Unless I made the first move. To be continued. If you want to hear what happened next, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.